All right. Oop, still there. Okay. It takes a long time for me to get the muscle memory to do everything smoothly. How's it going? Welcome back to Blackbird News, where everything is connected. I am currently cooking some coffee, so I'm going to leave you with a song break. When I go get the coffee, I'm going to play a song from my new record. But good to see you all. Welcome. And welcome back. Going south. Art is here. What's up? I have a lot of friends in like Tampa Bay, St. Pete area. And I'm seeing a lot of aftermath of Milton on my like Facebook feed. It wasn't as hard as it wasn't as damaging and hard as it was cracked up to be, but it did a lot of damage. It did. Did enough damage. Where is my, dang it, what the heck is going on here? Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit. Here's a clip of some of the damage. Guys, I'm sorry about the end of the show yesterday, and I've done it. I did that once before, and I really am sorry about that. I did the same thing before, and what happened was I put the link I gotta take my Rumble the feed off. I don't know. Maybe that's helpful. I'm not sure. Anyways, I put the link in the wrong tab, which was my Rumble Studio tab, and it when I click, when I went to the right when the tab loaded, it killed my Rumble feed, which I will try not to make that mistake again. The problem is, so I've killed my on StreamYard, I've killed the feed before. Oh shoot. Did I do it again? Oh crap. No. Am I here? Okay, jeez. I'm like, which one am I on? Are you guys all here? Is everybody here? Are we okay? You all hear me? Anyways, if I put I just put the link in the search bar, and it happened to be the tab that was running my Rumble feed. And if I've done that on StreamYard, but if I click back, the StreamYard feed would keep going. Not so with the Rumble feed. It just kills the stream, period. And there's no way to get it back. So I will really, really try not to do that again. I'm sorry about that. I will try and be careful. It's Thursday, October 10th. And just pulling up a little damage here. I'm not sure whether something I can do to make that. Anyways, here's some of the damage. Quite a bit of damage. I saw a friend of mine had some cars taken out by trees. Lots of people without power. Stuff like that. So it did some damage. It doesn't seem to be as, it's enough damage. Doesn't seem to be as severe as Helene, but it just went right through. There is, massive flooding going on in France and in Europe as well from the remnants of Hurricane Kirk. And that is also happening. I saw Obsolete Optics posted this on Facebook, which was really funny. Let me see if I can get it. Where are we? Hello. Oh, well, Judy Truitt. I hope I'm not necessarily debating on the side of geoengineering. It seems to be a thing that is quite popular that people are saying, but I'm going to, if it makes you feel any better, I'm coming down on the side of the fact that, this is all evidence that climate change is actually a thing that's happening, right? Let me see if I can find this post that Obsolete put up, which is pretty hilarious. Let's see if I can get it here. Come on. Where is it? It's too many buttons to click here. Probably this. Here we go. I wonder how not large it's going to show up. Oh, yeah. That's it. Create graphic. It's not going to be very large. And I can't really... Can y'all see that? This seems a little ridiculous. I'm trying to figure it out, but it was a good post. Conspiracy theorists who keep saying there's no way the hurricane could have intensified so much without some human cause are so close to getting it. I mean, look, I think geoengineering is actually a thing that is a thing, right? It's a concept and a thing that they're saying that they're going to do in the face of climate change. So, geoengineering is not a conspiracy. It's actually a thing. It's they're talking about doing or they're already doing. I find it actually ludicrous to think that they already don't know everything about it. But that they're, well, we don't know. They know everything about it. They know it's stupid. They're wondering whether they want to deploy it and ruin everything. I think the question is, do we deploy it and suffer the consequences, which we know are inevitable? Like how, it's kind of like how stupid is this idea? But there is geoengineering going on, yes, on a small scale. I mean, I don't know. They, where is it? There actually is. There's an actual military endeavor to study the modification of hurricanes, and it was called Storm Fury, Project Storm Fury. So it's an actual thing, and it happened in many years ago, between 1962 and 1983. So they studied it for 20 years. So it's not a conspiracy; it's an actual thing. But yeah, which one is it? We're living the way we do is also geoengineering. You know, as per the post that I just. Oh, I didn't save it. My bad. As per the post. Right? Sure, the military can do some things, and 8 billion people consuming and pumping out toxins and all kinds of chaff into the environment. All kinds of, waste, pollution, chemicals, plastic, uh, smoke from smokestacks, smoke from tailpipes, smoke from, all the pipe smokers. But humans are just pumping out pollution like hand over fist, right? That has got to do something to the planet as well, right? So I think it's again, as I say over and over and over, it's not either or, it's and. This and that, this and that. Which one is it? Who knows? I don't know. Let's look at this storm fury for a second. The observation and understanding of hurricanes has always been a priority for the National Weather Service since its beginnings. The study of tropical cyclones has been at the forefront of this agency's operations. I'm not going to read. Hold on one second, guys. I have to take a break for a second. I'm going to leave you guys. Farts. Come on. It's a family show. Farts. Actually, kids love farts. I'm going to go grab some coffee, guys. I'm going to leave you with a song from my newest record. While I go get coffee, you guys can just chill out and listen to this. Where are we? This is Make the Homeless Homeless Again. As soon as it loads. Shouldn't take too long. Here it is. We'll save it to the library, I guess. Sure. Here you go. All right. I'll be right back.
Whoa, Gavin Newsom of a bitch. You've done it again. Winked and smiled about being a good, caring Democrat. But when the chips are really down, it's down with the people. Still no Medi-Cal for all, and more drilling for all, and more plunder of the state coffers. Where did the money go? Oh, where did the surplus go? It happened so quick, yeah. Just a few natural disasters, and there's no more money for schools. Oh, you think that we're fools for wanting you to help with basic needs. Oh, fools indeed. Fools indeed. And then Oregon helps show the way, and that there's no place for the homeless to stay. Now California wants to join in. Let's make the homeless homeless again. Tear down those tents, back up your stuff. He's had enough. Now this is campaign slogan tough. Let's make the homeless homeless again. But where will they go? Who really cares? Who really knows? Oh, but this is compassion in action. This is the Democrats caring about you.
I could, but anyways, that was a bit of make the homeless homeless again, which is sure to be a hit all over the radio waves this winter. Malcolm Young says over the last few decades, the oceans have absorbed a staggering amount of heat, with the total energy increase equating to approximately 3.6 billion Hiroshima bombs. Yeah. Shrimp scampi, shrimp etouffee, shrimp burger. Judy Truitt, 50 years ago, husband and I hiked Zion with 2 small kids. Now you have to have a permit and the trails are stacked with people. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I did a lot of hiking during the pandemic, and I haven't really. I'm so swamped with. Why do I wear them my headphones backwards? I don't know. Am I wearing them backwards? It's more comfortable this way. Am I supposed to wear them this way? I don't know. Not sure. It's more comfortable this way. This is I can hear everything. Does it look weird? I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Yeah, I was doing a lot of hiking, and there were so many people on the trails. It was kind of ridiculous. In fact, yeah. Anyways, frustrations. There's a lot of people out there. The funny thing is, I want to talk about 5 things at the same time, and I'm trying not to be too scattered. I I heard one of the one of the more popular alternative media people who's always staunch climate change denier. Um, and part of the premise of the climate change denial, or the fact that the people that are talking about climate change are evil and want to kill you, part of the premise is that they think humans are bad and they're killing the environment, and that's just such a dumb idea. This same personality, alternative media personality, was like, oh yeah, those tourists come here and just destroy the destroy the environment. Which one is it? So you can see with your own eyes that people, the horde of humans that come, that might not be welcome, that might be, there just might be too many of them trying to do too many things, coming to your area and destroying the environment with all their tramping and stamping about. That upsets you, but to acknowledge or recognize that on a global scale, well, that's just crazy. To acknowledge that the amount of resources it takes. Just think about one city with 5 million people in it. And think about the amount of resources and services that have to happen every single day for 4 million people to be alive in one city. If you just consider that for a moment, you might consider like the absolute degradation that we might be visiting upon the planet on a daily basis. All right. Let me stay focused. Here's a good post from Adam McKay, who I took to task yesterday. And Bella, thank you for the transcription. That's pretty cool. I think yeah, maybe I will chop that bit out and play it. Hither and yon, but Adam McKay posts this: corporate news media will do everything it can to frame Milton as a singular event so people do not connect the dots with what the oil companies and their lies have done to us and the planet. Let's not let them get away with it. And that's true. They will paint it as a singular event. They always do that. This heat wave is phenomenal. Well, it's crazy. What's making this heat wave happen? And, can we connect it to any other greater, larger picture that's happening on the planet? No, we absolutely cannot do that. We have to focus on this heat wave just singularly. Wow, this is really crazy. This is, amazing. Last time this happened was years ago, blah, blah, blah. And they do that with storms. They do that with, they paint it as a singular event. Guess what? Guess who else does that? Alternative media. The people that are like, oh, they're shape shifting the weather with the laser beams and stuff. And maybe. But it's always like, this one is the example. This really major one that wiped out everything. Because it wiped out everything, it's clearly unnatural. Again, reference the post that I put up from Obsolete Optics earlier. Maybe I'll have to re-show that. It's always that, Acapulco, Hurricane Otis, and Hurricane Helene. But nobody's really talking about Milton. Why? Because, Milton came through. Milton did some damage, but Milton is not going to be the story. Milton is not going to have the story legs that Helene has or had. Right? So nobody's going to talk about, there's not going to be like 30, quasi-scientific breakdowns on Twitter about how, they shot the beams and the waves and stuff into Milton right here and here and here. This is where they did it and made it stronger. No, there's not, because it just didn't garner enough attention. So I'm just pointing that out in case, in case some of the, those alternative media personalities just happen upon my videos and watch my videos. I think some of them do. If you happen upon this video and you're watching it, just realize that you're selectively tuning into certain events and calling them, whatever you want to call them, engineered or steered or manufactured or a plot against the people or whatever. And maybe, I have an open mind. I'm willing to take in all the information about that that is available, but you are not willing or available to take in information about the fact that it could be climate change, right? Because you leave out all the other events that are stacked up. There is a trend. There is an absolute trend in the number and severity of weather events, abnormally extreme weather events, abnormal heat waves, floods, 1,000-year floods, 500-year flood. There is an absolute trend line over, especially over the last like 5 or 6 years that you can see. Yes, Milton was the name of the guy in Office Space. The stapler guy. That's my stapler. That's my stapler. Right. If you look at what's been happening over the last 5, you can see, and also that seems to coincide with what? The temperature. The temperature has also gone up in the last 5 years, like pretty noticeably. And you don't want to tie it to that. You can't tie it to that. So you have to focus on these weather events in a singular fashion and point that, oh yeah, they totally made this happen. Well, so Otis was engineered, but what about the hurricane that just hit Acapulco like 2 weeks ago and completely destroyed it again? You're not talking about that, are you? Okay. They're doing it. They're GeoEngineering the planet to make it warmer. It's not climate change or global warming. It's Dr. Evil on the mountain, in the mountaintop island or whatever. The island mountain island. It's Dr. Evil in the island of doom, who was raising the temperature of they got to raise the temperature of the planet to prove their climate change theories. Okay. Go on. All right. I'm going to play this and shut up.
Don't blow our lid.
I mean, these guys are burning fossil fuels
To create
energy released
pollution, which
has overloaded our
atmosphere with
what the kids would call
a thick blanket of heat trapping pollution.
also known as greenhouse gas. He said gas.
I love a good fart joke.
Fossil fuel pollution causes
More heat on Earth.
Causing extreme weather. Who knew?
Big oil. That's who.
and instead of doing something about it,
They spent
billions,
lobbying against clean power,
lying to the public,
and buying off
The media so that we
don't remind you
every single night.
and big oil as a shadowy cabal of greedy, selfish, power-hungry psychopaths murdering you for a profit.
Are we on the air now?
Wait, have we started?
Yeah, we're on the
I thought we were in a commercial break.
Oopsie daisy.
And there you go. Another component of the, missing the big picture by a particular group of journalists is that, big pharma is bad, and they are. Big ag is bad, and they are. All these major conglomerates, corporations that are poisoning people and the planet for profit, they're all bad. But when it comes to the oil companies, there's just not only that, it's like, well, they're trying to take your energy away from you. Again, the selectiveness is pretty loud and just looks like selectiveness. Cherry picking ain't journalism. It's just cherry picking. Anyways, that was pretty great. That was pretty great. I know I put it in the title of this video, but there isn't really a debate happening. There's just shouting from one side that this is absolutely what is happening, and the climate change is absolutely not happening. And then the other side is just saying, well, the geoengineering is absolutely not happening, and it's absolutely climate change. There's not really a debate. There's just shouting from both camps. And I don't know. I'm more willing to take in all information. However, just due to the data and the evidence, I'm willing to extend a bit of belief to the idea that, like, obviously there's some geoengineering going on the planet. There absolutely is. Some of the geoengineering is actually involved in keeping certain areas cool for whatever reason, so people don't freak out so much. Or maybe keeping areas cool so they can continue to grow crops, right? Because if you have too much heat and too much UV blasting certain areas where they might be trying to grow food, that might be bad. Geoengineering can go both ways. The purpose of geoengineering is to lessen the effects of extreme weather or climate change, right? And I'm glancing at this article about geoengineering, and part of what they were studying was not just intensifying the storms, but de-intensifying the storms, right? Dissipating the storms. Who's doing the cooling and where? Oh, I've talked about that a lot. The manufactured contrails that kind of put up cloud cover on the sky. That absolutely is happening. Absolutely is happening. But that is an attempt to actually lessen the effects and the severity of what people are experiencing with climate change. And my guess would be to somewhat dampen if you're putting up some cloud cover in the sky or long-lasting contrails, whatever you want to call them, that might be lessening the effects of UV. I'm sure it is. Solar radiation management is definitely happening. Yeah, Absolutely happening. Absolutely happening. And are those dissipation attempts, mucking up the picture? Sure. The hardest thing about this debate is that, I don't see. I have honestly watched, quite a bit of coverage of the people who are saying this is totally, um, they're totally making this happen with the gravity waves and the lasers and the NexRad and the hoobity whips. I've watched a lot. I'm still like, you know, it is super easy to just manipulate some weather video, right? It's kind of, it's kind of simple to do that, right? It's not very hard to take some video and add some, light flashes here and there. It's super easy to do that. So I'm not, it's hard for me not to see it with a large dose of, because I'm just like, this is not, you're presenting something as here it is. It's absolute proof that this is going on, and you're just showing video of something that may or may not have flashes of light in it naturally. It's not. Denver says gene modifying plants, modifying plants to make them more tolerant of aluminum equals yeah, sure. So, I do think that there's a bit of both. There's both things are happening. I think the overarching thing that is happening is called the planet is warming. The overarching, the big picture, the thing that's happening in the background is that the planet is warming. Obviously, it's obviously warming, right? It's just because the amount of energy, right, that it takes to change, the intensity and the um the number of occurrences of severe, all the severe weather and heat and drought and storms and hurricanes and cyclones and like that is a huge amount of energy that actually lines up more with the planet is warming, right? The planet is taking in more energy, trapping more energy. The it lines up with the science of the planet is warming. Again, can there be individual instances in there of maybe some interference from humans might steer something one way or the other? Sure. But again, there's really no debate. I'm not saying that there's no debate because it's clearly, I'm just saying there's no debate happening. Nobody's actually listening to the other side. Nobody's actually taking in, the other side and not rejecting it, but just saying like countering it with like, well, are you considering these other factors? Malcolm Young says greening the Antarctic. What ray and what Muslimic ray can do that? Right. Is there a budget line for contrails and why is it top secret? I mean, why would it be public? You wouldn't want people to know. Well, for one thing, if you admitted that you were it would be really unpopular. It is very unpopular. That's why some states are passing like anti-geoengineering bills, because it's very unpopular. So, keeping it secret is kind of obvious, in my mind, an obvious thing. I mean, there's a lot that is secret, right? So we're not just talking about contrails. There's so many things that are kept in the dark for obvious purposes, that people would resist these things if they knew about them. And you want to control, you want to be able to exert some control over people's perceptions and actions and what they do and how they react. And so it's, clearly a thing that you want to keep under wraps. Beckwith did a video that made it clear how our changing atmosphere promotes more trails from planes. Okay. I don't know if that's the same video I watched. I don't know. I watched a video from Beckwith about chemtrails, and I was kind of like, or contrails, and I was like, I wasn't necessarily impressed. It's okay. Yes, ask Vietnam. Operation, what was it, Popeye? I mean, that's a very famous case of obvious geoengineering. And weather warfare, right? That is a, that's an absolutely factual case of weather warfare. Let's see. Let's look at this. This is from NOAA, from the government. We'll just read this for the sake of balance. For the sake of balance, and for the sake of, they absolutely flooded the crap out of Vietnam during that war. Yeah. Oh, we'll read a little bit of this. Project Storm Fury was an ambitious experimental program of research on hurricane modification carried out between 1962 and 1983. The proposed modification technique involved artificial stimulation of convection outside the eye wall through seeding with silver iodide. This is something that's on the NOAA's website, saying, yes, this is a thing we were studying for 20 years. What do you think they learned after all their studying? Did they Oh, you guys can't see this. Sorry. This is it. This is on the NOAA website. The invigorated convection, it was argued, would compete with the original eye wall, lead to reformation of the eye wall at larger radius, and thus, through partial conservation of angular momentum, produce a decrease in the strongest wind. So they were actually seeking to decrease the power of the hurricane. Since a hurricane's destructive potential increases rapidly as its strongest winds become stronger, a reduction as small as 10% would have been worthwhile. Modification was attempted in 4 hurricanes on 8 different days. On 4 of these days, the winds decreased by between 10 and 30%. The lack of the response on the other days was interpreted to be the result of faulty execution of the seeding or poorly selected subjects. These promising results came into question in the mid-1980s because observations in unmodified hurricanes indicated that cloud seeding had little prospect of success because hurricanes contained too much natural ice and too little supercooled water, and two, that the positive results inferred from the seeding experiments in the 1960s stemmed from the inability to discriminate between the expected results of human intervention and the natural behavior of hurricanes. Pretty short summation of it. Here's a longer summation of it from NOAA. This is on the NOAA website. So I don't know if people are reading all the way through these, because I haven't really heard people say that the whole point of it was to decrease the strength of it. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. So yeah, they were seeking to decrease the strength of the storms, not increase. The use of cloud seeding to alter a storm was not a new idea. Project Cirrus accomplished the first cloud seeding of a hurricane back in 1947. However, instead of using silver iodide, hey, where have we heard that name before? This project experimented with dry ice as a method of, they love to just shoot random stuff in the atmosphere, don't they? This project experimented with dry ice as a method of seeding. Despite its ambitious nature, the successful seeding didn't come without consequences. The hurricane, which had initially been tracking west to east, heading out to sea, reversed its path after it was seeded and made landfall in Savannah, Georgia. Whoa. Causing local destruction. Many blamed the seeding for the disaster, which had a negative effect on political and legal arrangements for future modification efforts. And there's your reason for keeping it secret, Judy. Was it Judy that asked me that? Or Jean? There's your reason for keeping it secret. Many blame the seeding for the disaster. The project was officially canceled. The embarrassing incident set back seeding research for more than a decade. Despite progress, it soon became clear that it was too difficult to find acceptable cyclones to work with. Additionally, it came to light that several hundreds of experiments would be needed in order to prove the feasibility of the hypothesis. Therefore, in the early 70s, the focus of storm theory shifted from modifying hurricanes to better understanding them. As observation of hurricanes continued, new scientific data began to challenge the hypothesis of the project. Based on observational evidence, it was determined that the natural composition of hurricanes didn't produce as much supercooled water as expected. Therefore, seeding wasn't effective as intended, as effective. Well, there you go. I mean, they do seed storms or clouds in order to make more rain. To be honest, the supposed success of Operation Popeye is suspect as well. It does rain a lot there, so you're right. How would you know? Well, so they were looking at it. Again, the idea of geoengineering is one that has unintended consequences, which is why let's see. Denver says, by branding climate change responses with assholes like John Kerry and Podesta and Gore and Bill Gates, it invites distrust and I know, and skepticism from an already distrustful public routinely lied to. Yeah. You're right. The people that are telling you that climate change is a thing or they got to do something about it are the wrong people. But they're also the wrong people because it's not that they're lying, that's the thing. It's a misunderstanding of like what the intentions are. Like, in most circles, it's like, well, they're lying to you about climate change because they want to take control of you and control all the natural resources of the world and stuff. Okay. Sure. Self-evident, I guess. But they're also lying about their intentions to actually care. Like they don't, these are the people that, right, in the Inflation Reduction Act to say, oh, we care about climate change. We're going to fund it, but they are destroying the planet, faster by saying they're going to help the planet. Right. And that's the same with all these people that are, insisting that they love the planet and they're going to help it. Right. Al Gore with the private jets. All the Leonardo DiCaprio with private islands and the yachts. It's like you say you care about the planet, but you're actually going to just go out and destroy it even faster because you don't actually care. It's just a front. It's like front philanthropy, right? We're going to do this stuff, but we really don't. We're just trying to make ourselves look like we care. We make ourselves look good, but they, that doesn't mean that climate change is fake. It's just that the people that are in charge of telling you about it are fake, and that is making it really hard for people to understand. Right? Yes, Joseph Wood. Reducing biocomplexity for 200,000 years via pointy sticks and fire is geoengineering. Good links, guys. Oh, this article has been retracted. Evidence of coal fly ash, toxic chemical geoengineering in the troposphere. The author presents evidence that toxic coal combustion fly ash is the most likely aerosolized particulate sprayed by tanker jets for geoengineering, weather modification, and climate modification purposes. But isn't coal combustion fly ash also part of the aerosols, the global dimming aerosols that are in the atmosphere anyways? I question. Do you need to spray those things in the sky, or they're already getting sprayed in the sky? Am I off base? In the spring of 2014, the author began to notice tanker jets quite often producing white trails across the cloudless blue sky over San Diego. Well, many, many people have seen these things. So they are actually happening. Nobody's imagining these things. Nobody's making this up. It is a thing that has been happening. And I've noticed lately a lot less of it, I think, because they realize that people are paying attention. Right? They're trying to be even more stealth about it because there's too many people taking too many pictures and pointing at the sky and going, "What the hell is going on up there?" What's this? I'm trying to get to your link about the patent. Hold on. Aluminum poisoning of humanity and Earth's biota by clandestine geoengineering activity. Okay. Oh, I've read this one. We read this one before. Right? Didn't we? Isn't that the paper that we read this one? Sorghum aluminum tolerance gene. So is this the gene modification to be tolerant to aluminum? Is that that's what this is? Yeah. Is this an anticipation of Is this in anticipation or reaction to widespread geoengineering? Okay. We're just digging into this a little bit. Common Ground documentary was meh. Man, we don't, we should do 3-hour shows because we don't have enough time to really dig into all this. It suggests. So, yeah. Okay. So maybe they're modifying tolerance levels in plants in order to, in anticipation of more geoengineering or reaction to already ongoing geoengineering. Interesting, yeah. The green transition is canceled in Europe. It's too much backlash. Well, that's the thing is the people that are in charge of tackling the climate crisis are bungling this job about as badly as you can bungle it. They're all doing their best Kamala Harris, which is just like looking completely unfit for the job. And everybody's like, no, not this person. No, not them. By the way, which is I'm seeing everywhere how unpopular Kamala is. And I went to go look at the national polls on the presidential race just to see, just for giggles. And they have Kamala ahead by 2. I was like, that's not even, I don't believe. I cannot believe that. The Kamala is ahead by 2 points when all I see everywhere is people going, what the hell is this lady? Like, what is she saying? Even half the time. Like, who is this person? Why do we like all I'm seeing is a big fat no. And I just yeah. And they're really, really, whoever really wants her to be president, they're doing just a bang up job of trying to promote this idea that like she's ahead. No, I'm sorry. And they're setting people up for if you really want to go with the idea that if you want to go with the idea that they want people to believe it's 2016 again, that they're trying to set up people for the great disappointment in Trump getting elected and having people like melting, oh my God, oh, oh, Russia did this. And, we need to do some kind of, big mass hypnosis on everybody, which was the purpose of the first Trump election, was to absolutely like scramble everybody's brains, right? To get everybody on this major TDS kick, scramble everybody's brains, and then, you know, push them forward into the future and like, good luck out there. And they're doing it again. They're going to do it again. They're like, you know, trying to, I mean, they're trying to just promote this idea that like Kamala Harris is ahead a little bit and it's neck and neck and Trump is crazy. And then when he wins, everybody's going to melt down. And then they're going to use that meltdown in order to, you know, further tighten the grip on people's, you know, on the mind control. Did getting the Cheneys joining the campaign not help? I don't know. I think they thought it would help. I was kind of like, this is bad PR. This is just bad PR. Horrible PR. Again, unintended. The people in charge cannot get out of their own way or get out of the way of the unintended consequences of their schemes. Or maybe it's all on purpose. I don't know. The thing that I don't believe about Storm Fury or any of these geoengineering studies is that, you know, they make it seem like, well, they end, you know, there wasn't really conclusive evidence of anything. And so we just stopped the program and we stopped trying. That's absolute bullshit. Kind of like, well, you know, we've been trying to we haven't been engaged in biological warfare. You know, we keep trying to splice these diseases together and we, you know, we can't really get anywhere. No, absolute bullshit, nonsense. They're way down the path of controlling and splicing and, you know, concocting these like monster viruses or whatever. They're way down the path with that. And they just don't want, you know, they don't want the backlash of everybody knowing that's what they're doing. I mean, even after it was admitted pretty much publicly, like, oh yeah, they're totally like engineering these things all over the planet. And, you know, COVID could have been one of them. And, you know, it was just revealed and, you know, it's public knowledge pretty much now. But they're still like, oh, no way, that's just crazy. And everybody's like, yeah, no, it's not. We already know. We already know you did it. But they're still running the whole like, no, that's absolutely misinformation thing out there. It's just, come on. They are counting on people not remembering the past because people don't remember the past. Exactly. Especially with the Cheney thing. I'm like, you guys weren't alive. Like, for one thing, kids don't know who Cheney is. And if you were alive and old enough to know who Cheney is, you would know that he, you know, he's pretty much one of the worst people that ever, that's, you know, still infesting the planet. He's a horrible person. Like, why would this be a plus? But yeah, somehow it's like somebody tried to argue with me on that point. Oh, I was like, so Cheney is going to tell you that you need to defend the Constitution and people's rights? Are you kidding? The guy that tried to gut the Constitution and people's rights is trying to tell you that voting against Trump is going to save you. You're going to take this guy's word for it. Oh yeah, it's just accountability and he's different now. And so I was like, oh my God, I wanted to keep this person as my friend. So I was just like, okay, fine. I was like, sure, if that's what you think, good for you. Have fun with that. Oh, speaking of Kamala Harris, she did a horrible interview. And the interviewer was like, you want to give us an answer eventually, lady? She was like, nope. No, that's not what I do. What I do is word salad. What I do is talk about the significance of what I do and how it applies to the things that I'm eventually going to do. As soon as I assume power, I will do all the things and you will know that I'm doing the things, but it won't be evident until I am doing the things. And of course, these things will be good because the American people, they have hopes and dreams. And I am all about talking about their hopes and dreams because we know that everybody has hopes and dreams, and this is significant. I don't know. I made myself laugh. There we go.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not.
So they edited
listening.
the answer.
Well, Bill,
weird.
The work that we have.
I love the pause. The actual answer had the big pause in it, which she always does right before she just spreads it on thick. Yeah. Well, let me be clear. She does that thing too. Let me just say. Okay. Did you just say what? Okay. Let's be joyful. I'm not Trump. Yeah, that's the other. She said something really dopey on. Anyways. Man, I didn't even get to the article. Oh, it's late already too. Okay, I'm gonna play this because I really have to take off, guys. Even Fox News is covering what Israel is doing to journalists, and did hear about Jeremy Lafredo being arrested. He was doing work for Gray Zone, and he was or arrested or kidnapped or whatever, taken into custody in Israel. He disappeared. He was covering the fact that actually some Iranian missiles actually did get into Israel, and they were trying to make it seem like they didn't get hit and they shot all the missiles down, but no, actually they got hit. So Jeremy Lafredo was there covering that story, and he has now apparently disappeared in Israel, or in custody. No, not disappeared, in custody in Israel. This is Fox News covering what's happening in Israel.
There are so many neighborhoods that are flattened. Palestinians that are internally displaced will simply have no homes to return to. And while we get a firsthand look at the destruction here, it's important to remember that Palestinian journalists do not have this access. They have been pushed to the south. Dozens have been killed.
There's this false narrative about Palestinian journalists. More than 100 of them have been killed by Israel since the war began. And I take very few positions in the conflicts that we covered. But let this be a position that I take. Journalists, specifically Palestinian journalists, must be protected amid the war. The Israelis have killed journalists in drone strikes. They've killed them with small arms fire, and it's unacceptable.
There are so many neighborhoods that are flattened. Palestinians that are internally displaced will.
Yeah, well, they've been killing journalists for before this conflict. During this conflict, and will probably continue to kill journalists wherever and whenever they can. I mean, we've seen this tactic. They're trying to scare people from. But one of the reasons that there is such anger and backlash about what's going on there is because people are actually getting images and people, because journalists are doing their job. So Godspeed and bully on all the journalists that are doing what they're supposed to do, which is showing people what is actually going on. And this is not this is a stain for sure on the PR campaign of, we're just trying to defend ourselves and all that kind of good stuff. So Israel has the right to defend itself against hospitals. And and the short-limbed terrorists that reside there, right? Anyways, guys, I've got to go. I so many other things I want to talk about today, but I just don't have the time to continue going longer than this. If you want to support the show, I don't even have my phone. Don't even have my phone. If you want to support the show, if you enjoy getting this content for free 99 Monday through Friday, and once in a while on the weekends, we could surely use your help to keep on going. And there's a bunch of links in the description box of any of the platforms that you're watching on. The direct donate links, please use those. Please, for now, do not tip on Rockfin for sure, because they're not actually paying out the tips. And YouTube, who knows what's up with YouTube? YouTube is just trying to send me down the drain pipe of actually having any viewers. So I don't know about YouTube. Rumble, have no idea how to even get tips out of Rumble. And so thanks for watching, guys. I will see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow at 11. Same time. Same place. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Thank you.